Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Green Millstone and Shalom to the IQ teaching this word throughout the four corners in true sincerity. Back on that lesson. Do spend prayer, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. In our witness, edifying us to the elect. The true name of God is Yahweh, which means He is. The true name of His Son, who the world calls Jesus, is Yahweh Shai, which means He saves or He delivers. All right, and those names are said, all right, in the Hebrew. All right, and it's never going to change. All right, it's not going to change to, Jesus. All right, Allah. It's not going to be none of that. It's Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem, and Ba'ashem means in the name Yahweh Shai. All right. But the topic of this lesson is going to be exhortation. All right, going into the Strait Gate. All right, and the topic, the title is going to be the Strait Gate to salvation. All right, because we all know what the word straight means, right? Or if you don't know, all right, here's the definition in the etymon. It says a narrow, confined space or place. It says the sense of difficulty, plight. All right, now word plight goes into predicament, right? A dangerous, difficult, or otherwise unfortunate situation. All right. Severely restricted, austere. All right. Google says, again, a channel, a bad/difficult situation. It says using reference to a situation categorized by specific degree of trouble or difficulty. All right. So we know that we have to go, through the Strait Gate to enter into the broad. All right. That broad is ultimately, the kingdom, salvation, being part of the elect. That's why we go through these difficulties, willingly, right? And I say willingly, because we know that this is what it takes. Okay, we're not gonna, start catching hell and start complaining when we deserve worse, right? We all should agree on that. We shouldn't even be complaining about the things that we go through, because the scriptures call it a light affliction, and we deserve death. If we being frank, all right, but we under grace and mercy, and it's the water Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai gave us life, all right, for the grace that we have now, all right, but we have to go through this, Strait Gate. It's only for a period of time. It's not even gonna be a long, drawn out, thing. It may seem long, but it's, the things that we about to inherit, it's gonna be, this is really short, right? Because we're about to enter, eternal life. The shit that we're going through now is really short. All right, we wholeheartedly believe that, we're gonna make it, and this is only just for, a period, of time. All right, you just have to suffer a little to enjoy a lifetime or lifetimes of peace and joy. All right, but this is Matthew 7:13. It says, "Enter ye in at the strait gate." So you have to enter. You have to be willing, right? Let me see what it says in NLT. You have to be willing to go through. It says you can enter. I'm going to finish reading the KJV, then I'm going to go NLT. It says, "Enter ye in at the strait gate, for the wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that go in thereat." It says you can enter the Most High's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, right? Because again, people don't want to suffer. They don't want to suffer for Yahweh Shem Shai, which is ultimately the greatest way to suffer. It says, "It is a gate wide for the many who choose that way." It says, but the gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few ever find it. And that's really going into, the elect, all right, which are going to be willing to go through the Strait Gate, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, Because again, we see the end vision. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and same thing with the straight gate. We see that broad field. All right. We see that broad field as we're walking through this very narrow path. Okay, we see it. All right. How do we see it? By seeing the prophecies that the Lord told us to watch for. You know, the lunar eclipses, the wars and rumors of wars. All right. Okay. Signs of the mark of the beast, all that, you know. Signs of Esau's kingdom family. We see all of that. So it pushes us to continue. All right. So what if it's narrow? All right. And we're not even doing this by ourselves. We have Yahweh Shai that's constantly making intercession for us, lifting us back up. And we got the videos, you know, the brotherhood, which is also, you know, represent Yahweh Shai as well. You know, so we're constantly, you know, being aided at the same time. It's not we're not just going through this by ourselves. We got the instruments to succeed. So why not succeed? Why not choose? All right, see the mic on. So why not choose success? All right, with Yahweh Shai. All right, we got to keep on going. All right, we hear it all the time. You know, keep on going, brother, keep it going. But bro, we got to keep on going, right? You only really lose when you quit, because you can fall as many times, multiple times. All right, the Lord know we not perfect. We in the flesh. Nobody's expecting you to be perfect. You had Jeremiah doubt the Lord, like, Lord, you know, they making fun of me. I'm in them derision daily. He said, man, fuck it, I ain't gonna prophesy no more. I ain't gonna teach. All right, so it's always moments of weakness. All right, but those moments of weakness are supposed to define you, right? They're supposed to build up your character. So the Lord is building up our character. So what are you going to do when you're at this weak point? Are you going to let this failure hold you down and you're going to stop seeking me? Right? The scripture tells us in Baruch, the 4th chapter, Baruch 4 and Baruch 4 and 28. It says, for it was your mind to go straight from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. All right, so part of seeking him 10 times more is falling and getting back up. All right. Again, you're not going to come into this thing and be perfect. All right. Don't just think you come to this thing like, yeah, I got the word, I got the name of the Lord, you know, I'm good. I ain't going to go through nothing. All right, it's going to be smooth sailing. No. All right. Just finding out you're an Israelite and just finding out the name, it don't stop there. We still got to seek the Lord 10 times more. Because, again, it's, you know, the Lord is building us up. Right? The Lord's building us up, making us better constantly. And you have to trust in that process. All right? And that process is going through that straight gate, that difficulty. Hey, you know what they say, you know what they say in the world. You know, pressure make diamonds. All right? Pressure make diamonds. And, you know, using an analogy of the scriptures, we is gold in that furnace. All right? Getting all the impurities. You know, the Lord is putting off that weak nature that we, you know, that we constantly fight on a daily. All right? To ultimately receive the kingdom. But you have to, you know, have a mental, you need to have some type of mental fortitude, some type of mental strength in this truth, or, you know, spiritual strength. All right, so you say the flesh is weak, but the spirit indeed is willing. The spirit is ready, because we at war. All right, on a constant basis. When you wake up, even when you go to sleep, right, you're fighting. You wake up, you know, Satan on you. All right, throughout the day, Satan, you're fighting. All right, but again, we have to be, you know, grateful as well. We got the name of the Lord. All right. But I'm reading 2 7. 2 7 and 1, it says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent to me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before. And he said to me, up, Esdras, right, and hear the words that I am come to tell you. And I said, speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set It's like the sea is set in a wide place. That it might be deep. That it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea and look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Right? There is also another thing. A city is builded and is set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. All right, we all going, through this narrow gate, because notice how it says one man at a time. You can look at it as this, because we all gotta make our calling and election sure. All right, the man behind you. All right, all right. Since the man in front of you is not gonna be continually looking back to help you, you have to fight yourself. All right, you have to, you have to get through what you gotta get through. And do what you gotta do. Do what you have to do on your own. All right. It's because I was saying before, the Lord is building this up, and part of building this up is putting you through that fire alone. All right, because at first you have your trainer rails and shit, right? And then other bro is dealing with you, etc. All right, but it's gonna come a point in time where he's like, bro, like you gotta fight. All right. Every you in this truth are brothers, but you really alone. If you could understand what I'm saying, right? Going back to making your calling an election, sure, the next man is not gonna make sure that you on point. You gotta make sure that you on point, right? You said you want this, right? You counted the cost, right? So you gotta make sure that you on point, right? And the Lord is pleased, because we all know what is expected, of us. Speaking to myself first and foremost, because we all know what is expected of us to do. All right, the Lord calls us to this calling. We have to walk worthy. Like, the Lord ain't call me in this for no reason. I ain't gonna come in this thing and be no wicked ass nigga. Right? Right? Continuing on, it says, where I was at 8 and 1. It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could slag you. But one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So again, first to get to that broad field, all right, we have to go through the narrow where it'll look sweet. Fire on one side, deep, dark waters on another. All right, but we're not paying attention to that. We're not looking down. We're looking forward. Right. It says, skipping down to 18. It says, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for the wide. Right. That's what we do. We hope for the wide. Right, because the wide is gonna be, your paw. Right? What does Scripture say? Man, we can't wait to get to the wide. All right? Even though we don't want to go through the narrow, we understand we have to. We don't want to go through this shit. Like, just be on. We don't want to go through this, but we have to. And it's not like, man, I ain't doing this. No. We don't want to, but we know it's needed, right? Cause just looking at the wide, looking at the end of the tunnel, it's gonna be so sweet. Oh, I'm thinking about it now. It's gonna be so sweet, right? It's like, think about it like a workout. You going through your workout, you pushing yourself to failure, and then when it's over, oh, it feels so good. You up, your testosterone blood pumping, right? You feel good. And with this comparison is nothing to what the kingdom is gonna be like. But just having that mindset of the The scriptures tell you, better, Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit than the proud in spirit. Right? So again, we're looking at the end goal. And the end goal is so close. We just got a few more steps. A few more steps in this narrow path. And then we in that open field, green grass, soft, laying down, giving praises to the Lord, right? Just a couple more steps and we there. All right. Well, this is 1 Corinthians 2 and 9. It says, but as it is written, I had not seen nor heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High have prepared for them that love him. So, again, that broad field, it's going to be so great. Like, bro, it's going to be so great. And Aqua, it's going to be so yapa. Like, man, this is the kingdom. Right? We not looking to set up, a life here in Babylon, right? Not saying no, do what you gotta do, Jake. I don't mean be a wicked ass, broke ass nigga not doing nothing. We gotta do what we gotta do, right? And remember, keep the truth our number one priority. But all we living here, we not hoping for the economy to get better. We not hoping to be another president. We not looking for, Esau to accomplish his new world order. This shit through. And people that have that mindset, you through, right? Jake, they be saying they worship, they love the Most High, this and that. But then you want this wicked ass kingdom to continue and want to stay here and build up a life here. You don't think the Lord go fucking destroy this shit? This shit wicked as fuck, right? But 2 7 and 18, it says, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for the wise. Because I had not seen or heard what things the Lord has prepared for us. It says, for they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wise. So the wicked, they get judged, right? As if they're going through the straight gate. But at the end of the day, they're not going to see it, right? Because again, this is only for a select few. It says, and he said unto me, there is no judge above the Most High, and none that had understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them, right? You have a lot of people that get killed, 2/3 specifically that get killed, all right? Because they didn't want to take heed to the Lord, all right? They didn't want to take heed. Right? So they will have to come back in the kingdom. Right, through our loins. Right, through lack of sex in the kingdom. Yes, there's going to be sex in the kingdom. We got to bring back a nation of people. Alright? But, just focus on this precept. To the our people, they don't want to take heed. They don't want to go through the straight gate. It's too hard for them. This and that. Complaining, this and that. Going back into the world because they couldn't handle it. Then this is not for you. If you can't see the wide, if you can't hope for the wide, then you cannot go through the straight gate. Alright? Seriously, you have to be, like I said in Ecclesiastes, you gotta be patient. And patience can go into suffering, so you have to be patient. And suffer for Yahweh Shema Shai. Is it not worth it? Right? All the things the Lord, did for us, just think about the things Yahweh Shai went through. No man on planet Earth could ever go through something like that. And what you complaining about? Nothing. It's nothing. Right? It's nothing. Because even at the same time of that, the Lord not even going to give you nothing. The Lord is not going to give you nothing that you can't even handle. So what you complaining for? Have some confidence. Have some confidence. Right? Have some faith in the Lord, and have some confidence in yourself. Like, man, I'm going to go through this shit. The Lord gave me this, man. I'm going to go through it. Because I can. Right? We got to stop downplaying ourselves. Right? It's wicked. Right? And that's really being in the world. Living our life in the world. Right? Because even when you search it up, it says around like 80% of your thoughts are negative. But we have this truth, so it shouldn't be like that. But, you know, again, a work in progress. All right? You know, with that one is lesson was edifying. I don't give our praises to Yahweh Bashim, El Shah Bashim, Kakwadash, and the Bonders, to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and Shalom, to the Icon teaching throughout the four corners and true sincerity. Shalom.